first thought was to make it look like a lot of war games look. Very gritty, very gray, very sort of battle-scarred. We thought, well, if everything's sort of gray and drab from the beginning, it's a little hard to get invested in that. So we eventually decided on a look for the game that's very, very lush and beautiful. There's just blue skies, beautiful puffy clouds, sort of lush green fields, green forests. But then in the middle of that, we have this really, really intense combat action. And the idea is to sort of create a world where you want to preserve it, you want to save it from the violence that's being done to it so that the player gets really invested in what's going on. The technology level of the Warhawk universe is about the level of the 1950s in our world. It's very early jet age. So you have these jet airplanes that are still only one step away from prop planes. They have these large battleships that aren't on the ocean, that fly in the air. Basically, the generators that are involved to lift these huge things are so massive and require so much power, you can't actually put them in a small aircraft. You can only put them in a giant ship. But that means you can have a mile-long aircraft carrier or a mile-long battleship that actually cruises through the skies. But you still have these little jet aircraft like MiGs zooming around and doing dogfights around. We wanted to create a world that wasn't just limited to one type of combat. We wanted, again, to get the feeling of like you have this full spectrum of warfare, from flying to driving around on the ground to battling in a city or battling in the open countryside. So sometimes you'll be fighting a small skirmish inside a village with enemy troops coming right at you, like little squad versus squad actions. But other times we have like these sort of big open rolling farmland spaces where you'll have 20 tanks versus 20 tanks and 100 soldiers on each side charging towards each other over these big open spaces.